Welcome to the Spunky Spirit Podcast. I'm your host, psychic medium Carrie Muggs. This is where we learn all things spirit, everything from spiritual gifts, awakenings, ghosts, aliens, and starseeds. Nothing is untouchable, but always fun and spunky. I am honored to be on this spiritual journey with you, so make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Hello, and welcome to the Spunky Spirit Podcast. I'm Carrie Muggs, psychic medium, and today we're going to talk about auras. So every time I do a reading, people always ask me, do you actually see the spirits? When I was little, I used to see them all around me, and it would freak me out, and it would be kind of scary. I would get used to it. Now, when I do readings, it's a little bit different, and it's because they have to lower their frequency and I have to raise mine. And when they lower their frequency, they can't stay they can stay longer because if they showed up fully figured, they couldn't stay very long. It takes them a lot of energy to do that. And so they kind of just come in through like a light or an aura. If you've ever seen The Shack, it's an awesome book, but if you've ever seen the movie, there's a part where he goes out and he goes into this field and he sees all these spirits and they're colors in human form and they're all different colors. And it's pretty awesome. And this is kind of how I see them. I see them in colors and I see them in I kind of have a little bit of a cold. So just bear with me. But I see them in colors, I see them in lights or orbs, and that's how I see their presence. Mostly I feel them, or I hear them, or I just kind of know what they're saying, but when I actually see them with my eyes, that's exactly how they come through. It's like a sort of light or an energy, because our auras are energy, and so as human beings, everything, not just human beings, but everything radiates a level of electricity. And this can be it's known as a electromagnetic field. And so it can be, that's why they have aura photographers. That's why you can go get pictures taken and you can see pictures of your auras. And that's why photographs will sometimes pick up orbs or different things and especially green, because this is the aura, or it's getting captured. The energy is getting captured, and scientifically enough, or spiritually enough, or whatever, ironically enough, there's different layers of the auras. There's 7 layers, which there's also 7 chakras, and there's also different colors of the auras, and there's also different colors of each chakra. Now, I kind of think that these are somehow regulate the same, or they intertwine with each other. I just don't know how, because your chakras can be in an alignment, but your chakras really can't be in alignment when you're sick, but your aura doesn't always put off the chakra that is the most balanced, right? So auras are kind of different. Auras are more vibrant. They're more they're just kind of whatever energy you're putting off for the day. So if you see, and a lot of people think that you have to see auras. And honestly, whatever clair is your strongest clair, that's how you're going to see auras. So some people think, I've got to see this color around people. And you don't always have to do that. Sometimes you just know, or sometimes you can feel it, or sometimes you can just, you can actually hear colors. When I went to as you guys know, I do sound bowls. I do sound bowl healing, Tibetan bowls. When I went to my sound bowl training, every time that they would rim the bowls, I would see colors. I would see the colors of the sounds. And so color is with everything. I'm a huge color person. I feel like colors surround everything. Everything is energy, and every energy has a color. And that's too when people have near-death experiences. The one thing they talk about the most is how vibrant the colors are on the other side. So we're going to talk about a little bit about the colors and what they mean, but just know that they can mean something different for everybody. This is just a general idea of what the colors mean. But honestly, this is like everything else. You are your own unique person. You have your own stuff. So you do things differently. Your aura colors might be different too. Same with chakras. Same with all of, I mean, I think chakras are pretty basic, but honestly, everybody sees different colors or sees colors differently. So don't feel like this is just a one size fits all kind of thing. They can mean different things, just like signs and symbols can mean different things to everybody. So the color red, if you see an aura or you feel like somebody has a lot of red around them, or you can actually see them, red is means well grounded, very energetic, and very strong willed. So sometimes when spirits come through and they're pretty strong willed or they're a little feisty, I'll see a little bit of red. I'll see different colors. I'm a very, very color oriented person. So to me, the colors kind of work. Orange. Orange is more adventurous, more thoughtful, more considerate. And let's see. I'm going to go look in. Okay, yellow means they are logical, very analytical minded, and an intelligent person. Also, red can also put off enthusiastic and energetic. I'm looking at different kind of different ones, different ideas of what each color means. So I'm going to different websites. Yellow means you're more creative, more relaxed, and more friendly. And green means you're more social, you're more of a communicator, it's more nurturing. Green is also very healing. I see green a lot when I see healing guides or when I see people healing. I see green a lot. Blue is intuitive, a spiritual free thinker. Indigo is curious, spiritually connected, and gentle. And violet is wise, intellectual, and independent. I have to be honest, one of my guides comes through as just a big color, just a big color. Violet or purple can also mean psychic, empathic, and in tune with those around them. One of my guides is completely purple. So the one I just said that comes through as a color, it comes through as a big blob of purple. That's all. It's just not a person. It doesn't have a personal. It just is a big blob of color. Pink means loving and caring and generous. And gold means artistic, charismatic, and attractive, like very attracted to other people. And silver means sensitive and gifted. So they all kind of like intertwine with each other. They can all mean different things, but and obviously there's more colors than just this, right? Because if you're having, you can have these mixed colors too. They don't always have to be, you can be more purple or more blue, but they can always be intermixed. So I think that's really interesting. Now, a lot of people don't know if auras are real. They're like, are auras real? I have seen them. I see them honestly, I see them more around spirits than I do people. I see the spirits come in as different colors. So, but is it important that you see them? It's not. It's really not, because you can trust your gut on people's energy, right? Like, when people steal your energy, when there's an energy vampire, when people are fun to be around, when people are magnets. You don't actually have to see that with your eye or your third eye, because you can feel this. You can kind of just know and feel this on your own. So you don't always have to. It's kind of the same thing as vibes. It's kind of the same thing, not really. But every color has a different vibrational frequency. And so if you feel the frequency or you kind of know the frequency, and that's what auras is a vibrational frequency, because everything is a frequency. Everything, every living thing, even every non-living thing has some sort of an aura around it. So, and now when you kind of get close to people, when people talk about your bubble, if you get kind of close to people and they kind of get in your bubble, then you kind of mix auras. This is you mixing auras, and this is why some people don't like it, because they can feel that the person that they're next to or the combining of the auras doesn't feel great. Or some people like it because they like to feel that energy. So that's kind of some people are just very vibrant and energetic all the time, and some people are really draining. And you don't need to see that, really. You don't need to see a color of that. It just happens. I do know that some people see gray or muddy auras or not clear clear auras when there's lots of addiction or when there's sickness. And I mostly, like I said, see auras of the spirits. So I can see sometimes auras of the living, but I don't really try and tap into the living as much because it's an invasion of privacy, I feel like. So I just focus on the spirits, and spirits definitely have auras or colors or energies about them. So, and so what do they look like? They're just 7 layers, like a layer of energy around your body. So if you were to look outside and you were to look at like your plants or your tree, and you kind of just stare at it, and you see this like kind of vibration, or you see this kind of haziness around the tree after you stare at it a long time. That's kind of what an aura looks like. It's kind of hard. You can take pictures of it if you've ever had any time to like take pictures of your aura. I know that they have aura cameras, and that's kind of cool too. So sometimes if you take pictures of yourself and you see that aura around you, that's awesome. I did that when I was in North Carolina. One of my friends took a picture of me while I was talking about spiritual stuff, and you could totally see the light around, like the silverness or the light around me when I was talking. So that was kind of cool too. It's kind of like a halo or a bubble that you have that surrounds you. But some people can see it. When I took that picture, it was mostly around my head. So that's like a halo, and it can be like a bubble, because we just talked about your bubble. And it's easier, honestly, to see somebody else's aura than it is your own. But sometimes if you take pictures, sometimes like I said, like the film can capture that, and so it's a little bit easier. And we don't really know why there are 7 different colors. Honestly, I just, like I said, everything has a color. Every vibrant, every every frequency has some sort of color. In fact, on my retreat, I made a frequency chart of the different colors and the different vibrations that they hold. Maybe I'll try and put that in the notes if I can. I don't know if I have a link to it, but I do. Every color has a frequency, and so some frequencies, some of them are higher. Purple's pretty high, silver's kind of high, gold's high. It's not like a competition. It's just the darker colors and the muddier colors, or their frequencies may be a little bit lower, but that also has to do with scientific stuff too. Now there's 7 layers of the auras, and I kind of didn't know about this. I just kind of found this. Well, I kind of knew when I was taking my class, my mediumship class, they did talk about the 7 different layers of the auras, but I never really got into it. I've never really been into the chakras or the auras because I just knew I saw them, and I didn't ever think before that I had to understand it. I just knew I saw spirits. So now I'm kind of like, okay, maybe we could understand it. So, the first one is the root or the physical layer, and this one's red. It's like the root chakra, and it is kind of it may be visible in between like your tailbone and your pelvic bone. So if you see like silver something around somebody's head, but then you see like a muddy color, inside of their stomach region, that can be possible. And you also don't always have the same color aura all your life, because you're not going to have a vibrant purplish color when you're super sick, right? So this is why when you protect yourself or you protect your energy, you're protecting your auras. You're protecting this light that's within you. And I used to think it was the light of Christ, but it's also known as auras. And I think I already said that, but the next one is the sacral layer. This is also contributing to the sacral chakra. Now, this is why I think they're combined somehow. Auras and chakras are somehow combined. I just don't know how, or how they relate to each other. So, and this one can be sensed below your navel. This is that physical layer. Then you have the emotional layer, which is yellow, and it can be sensed around your heart area or the solar plexus, around your rib cage, or around the center of your stomach. Now, here's the thing that's so different. This is why nothing's set in stone. When I was taking my class on mediumship, or how to communicate with spirits in a way that I could communicate what I saw to people. The 7 layers were outside of the body. The 7 layers were the different layers of the spirit or the different layers of the energy. These guys, this website that I'm looking at right now, they have it as 7 layers like inside of you, like the way the chakras are layered. They have it layered like that. I tend to think that the 7 layers are protective outside of your body. That's how I kind of feel of that it is. That's what I've kind of been told by other spirits, that's what it's like. But they have it listed as a different way, like around the chakras, which I kind of I can't really know because no one ever really knows, right? But that's not, I kind of see it as outside as a protection. And then the next one is the astral layer, and it can be sensed, or obviously they're telling you it goes around the chakras, but they can be, it does protect the chakras. I really, really believe that these aura layers protect your chakras. Then you have the spiritual layer, which is also combined with the throat chakra, and then you have the intuitional layer, which is combined with the third eye, and then you have the absolute layer, which is also with your crown chakra. Now, each different layer means a different thing. So the physical layer means this layer this helps us when we're awake, and it replenishes us. It helps us when we rest. It helps with our body. It protects our body. The astral layer is the emotional layer, and it helps us with our intuitiveness. It helps protect our intuitiveness and our sensual and our sensitivity. Then the lower, the waking, they have a lower mental one, but they don't. It's so funny because they have they name them the breakdown of the different layers. And they name like the emotional layer, the astral layer. So this would be the astral layer, the lower mental. This is your waking self, is what they say. And you use this layer most frequently. And if you guys want to look at this is called, you can Google it. It's What is an Aura? You can Google it. It's at healthline.com. But I just know that the 7 layers protect, and they're all different. There's a physical, an astral, a spiritual, an intuition one, and an absolute, and then they have a higher mental and a lower mental. I never really put too much thought into it, just because I just knew there were 7 layers that protected us that went with the 7 chakras. So you can look at that if you want to. It does say the spiritual layer helps you connect with other people. And it does help you connect to spiritual, and it helps to connect to spirits. And this one helps you grow and shine brighter when you teach. So that makes sense. That's actually pretty cool. Because when I was in North Carolina and I was teaching, or I was talking about spiritual things, and the silver goldish like effect around me, it was because that's why it was so bright. It's because I was talking about spiritual things, and that's probably why the camera picked it up. The intuitional layer is the celestial plane. It's said to act like your third eye, and it may help you see your dreams better and be aware of your own intuition and your instincts. So if you're doing your awakening, this one is going to be working or have an effect, and it also works with your third eye. The absolute one is the final layer of the aura, and it is kind of a net, kind of like a filter of sort. It keeps the individual layer confined, and it keeps it balanced in harmony. So those are the 7 layers. It's kind of hard because they named them different at the top than they did at the bottom, but they go together and they work with the chakras. That's the thing, the chakras. And I'm trying to figure out how, because you know me, once I figure out something, I want to know how it works. And yes, your aura will always change, and you cannot turn it off. It's always going, and always, it's not something, I mean, it can get cloudy and muddy, but it doesn't ever turn off. And you can cleanse your aura just the way you can cleanse your chakras. You just do meditation, or you visualize it being clean, or you visualize like a vacuum taking all the junk out of your head, things like that. So you could just kind of give yourself a spiritual shower, and that would help clean your auras too. Now, if you want to practice seeing auras, then the best way to do this is to just practice, like when you are, I don't want you to ever like intrude on anybody's personal space. But if like you're at something where there's a speaker or you're at a concert, you can actually try and see the aura, or you can set something on a desk, or try and with your pets or set something on a desk and see if you can see color around it. Stare at it long enough and see if you can see color around it. The best way to do this is to have a white background around, something with white in the background. I remember when I was going to church, they did have a white background, and so every time a speaker got up, I would practice trying to see their aura. And there is no I just want to talk about colors for just a second. There's no priority. No color is better than the other. It's just where your frequency is at the time. So don't worry about having to try and have it be yellow or have it try to be red. It's just where your mood is, and honestly how your body's working and how your spirit feels and how you feel and how much rest you've had. There's just so much that goes to it. It has to do with your energy. You can practice on yourself to look at your aura. You can go to a mirror and try and see it. But honestly, it's really not important to visually see it. You can look at it, or you can just practice with whatever clair that you have. When I would walk down the street and other people would walk by, I would just say a color, just practice saying a color and see if that would sometimes just practice that way. And because it doesn't really matter if you see it, honestly. Now, a vibrant color means that they have a pretty good level of spirituality and being aware of themselves, but still, please know that no color takes precedence over anybody else. We're all on the same journey of spirituality, and some of us we're all gonna make it. We're all gonna get to that level. It's just some of us are at different points or different frequencies. Muddied or dull color indicates that there's a sickness or can be caused from laziness. Pronounced colors, and I don't know what the difference between pronounced colors and vibrant colors is, but pronounced colors indicate that they're protecting their spirituality. So anytime you protect or anytime you put that white light around you, that could be what it means, that they're protecting. Dim colors mean that there's a need for more awareness, or more self-awareness, probably more self-awareness and more spiritual awareness. So, and honestly, the location of the aura is everywhere throughout the body. But like I said, you could have somebody who's super positive and super fun, and you can see like pink in their heart, but then you can see a cloudy muddiness in their, like wherever the sickness is, like in the knees or in the pelvic region, wherever there's a sickness, you can see that there's kind of a muddy thing. And also too, people who I did have one reading I did have a medium tell me that when spirits come through, if they had addictions on Earth, that sometimes she sees their auras as cloudy in the mind part of the color of the spirit. So because sometimes they'll tell me not clear, but I've never seen the cloudiness. So everybody's different. See, that's what I mean. Everybody's different. There's no right or wrong way to do this. So auras are pretty cool. I never paid attention to them really until I watched The Shack, and then I saw, they portrayed the spirits as these bright colors that formed, and I was like, that's exactly how I see spirits when they come into reading sometimes. And so it was like an aha moment for me. And I've had lots of questions about auras. The thing is I never really taught about them or learned a lot about them, because the one thing is I don't know. I know that they're related to the chakras somehow, but I don't know how. So if anybody has any enlightened ideas about that, that would be great. If you could share that with me, that would be awesome. So the thing I thought was cool too, as I was researching chakras, there are some Spanish researchers that say that healers who claim that they can see auras have a neuropsychological feature, something called Synesthesia. It's Synesthesia. And it's a phenomenon. It's a fusion of sensations of your five senses. It happens due to an active connection between the parts of the brain responsible for processing stimuli. And I thought this was interesting because I wonder if this has to do with like mediumship gifts because when you're, like the show, The Sixth Sense. And I know that when I do my readings, I have to combine all of my clairs, all of my senses, not my physical senses, but my spiritual senses. I have to combine all the clairs to do the readings. It's a fascinating condition, and it causes cross-wiring of the senses, which is what I do when I do readings. People with it can find that they can taste numbers or associate particular colors with certain people. So I kind of thought that was cool because I know like numbers have certain feelings for me. You guys know I love numbers. Colors have certain feelings for me. Like some people just see them as numbers and colors, but I feel them, or I don't necessarily taste them, but I can feel them. And so it's kind of cool. I thought that was kind of interesting. So if you feel like that is kind of that would be kind of cool. So if you have any ideas on that, let me know. So that is all about auras. That's all I know about auras. I thought it's kind of cool. Now, another thing you can do to see your aura is place your hand in front of you, in front of a white light or a white piece of paper, and you could see if you could start to see the color around your hand. And that's a good way to do it. I practice with my cats. I practiced with my dog when they were alive. And now it's just kind of, I don't normally see auras in the living, but I do always see auras when the spirits come through. So I think that's the important part of me. I'm not going to go practicing seeing auras when I don't need to, but some people might, like other healers, like doctors or people who do Reiki or massages. They might need to see people's auras, and so it might be a good thing for them to practice that. And, I could start practicing, but I don't like to tap into people's psychicness when they come here. I like to go into the spiritual realm and dig and go that way. So it is what it is. If you want to start practicing, if you want to start seeing auras, just start practicing, start doing those things, and it will be kind of really cool to see if you can start doing those things and see how the color comes to you. See if it comes to you claircognizantly, or if you just hear a voice saying what color it is, or if you just know what color it is, or if you actually see it with your eyes, or if you actually feel it. If you feel the color, because, if you feel a certain way when a certain color comes through. So I love you guys. Remember, you have everything you need inside of you, and you are the magic. If you liked this episode of Spunky Spirit, please go and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.